Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and today we're looking at HEXplorit, The Mountains of Godai. This is Volume 5. This is my final thoughts. Oh my goodness me. This is not a board game. This is an incredible DIY adventure. It's true. It's not just a board game. There's so much here. It's incredible. Really is. Now, at the minute, we've only got one half of a playthrough from the dev, which it was really cool to see it in action. And I've not been able to watch the second half of it because it wasn't out by the time I did this video because I'm on vacation from Saturday through a week. So I've not been able to view it. It might be out already for people to check out, but of course, when you watch this video, the where the backers and the money is has probably gone up, actually, because it usually does, doesn't it? There's 7 days left. I'm going to miss the end of the campaign, so it's best doing my final thoughts now where I am, because there's just been so much goodness. Now, let's go down from what I can add to my first video. Now, first of all, I've come in here on a private person here because it just has this massive bar at the bottom telling you of your pledge. It's like so big, it's egregious, Gamefound. Why do I need to look at my pledge when I can just press your pledge button here? It's such in your face. So I've had to actually come in and get that off. There's my beef already. All right, so what happens here is the setup is actually the longest setup of all the volumes because you've actually got to create the decks. Yeah, the decks have something unique. So you could be playing with one half of one region and the other side of the river as another region. If you do that, you're going to have two separate decks for the two sides of the river. But if you choose the same side, you'll have to halve that deck for both sides. So that's something that's different. Also, there is this boss deck, and the boss deck is, it kind of determines when the horde are going to come for you. This is the tower defense, if you want to call it tower defense. You're still running around and doing stuff. In fact, you certainly need to. In fact, out of all of the volumes, this one you really need fantastic mobility to get around because you don't know when the siege is going to start. Now, what's interesting is there is this harvest phase, which gives you time to run around and collect stuff. When you actually stop at certain parts of the map, you can pull in terrain from 4 areas in your, let's say, area of influence. Certain characters have a bigger area of influence, which means that picking a utility class is going to be incredibly important in this game, in my opinion. Anyway, so in this harvest phase, you will be, going as fast as you can, so you will be moving recklessly. When you move recklessly, though, you have to take an encounter card if you're going to do this. So if you're rolling dice, you might have to do this, that, and the other. And that's kind of interesting because you're pulling from these decks from both sides, and they, it could be an encounter, it could be an event, it could be lots of things. But what's interesting is that these decks seem to have events that pop up on the map that will disappear at the end of the harvest phase, which means that you don't know that after the next turn the siege might come. So it's almost like a race. There is a race in this game to get to certain areas and unlock them before the siege comes. That's why you need great mobility. Now, one other thing is you have several temples around the map. You can go to a temple and teleport across, which is good. And you can even use your movement when you teleport through also. So you can speed around that way. But if you are in the middle of something, you might not be near a temple, and you might need, again, that utility and great mobility to get there, just because of the paranoia of the decks. What's interesting is, though, that if the siege comes quicker than you expect, the siege will last not long, actually, because the more you do in the harvest phase, the more times the calendar is going to notch up. There is this track of calendar when you start doing stuff. And when the siege comes, it tracks down off the calendar. So if you've got 6 marks on the calendar, that'll be 6 turns for the siege running around. That's going to be a nightmare. First of all, when the siege comes, the harvest ends. So any kind of events that you want to get will disappear. The siege itself are going to be high-level enemies that will just blitz your backside if you're anywhere near them. So you've got to kind of stay away. 100%. These are like roaming bosses that are running around. So remember, the deck, though, that tells you when the siege is coming, you shuffle that up at the beginning, and you don't know if it's going to be... It could be the next card, or it could be the 4th card. And if it comes next round, you know that you've at least got 3 extra turns before it comes. It could be more, though. So there is this kind of interesting dynamic. But the more harvests you have, the more that siege is going to last when it arrives. It's super interesting. Now, when you're doing the harvest and you're pulling the opportunity cards out, you will have chance to get these elements. Now, these are going to be the priority mission to hunt these down. Because if you get one of each element, you can bring them to a temple and create this huge temple fortress. Now, this temple fortress will amplify all the health of all the temples into one. You only need to upgrade that one temple, and it will upgrade every single temple across the map. It's going to be the super defense when you build it. Problem is, that building you make is magnetic. So when they come out of that portal, they are likely to head and beeline for it. So that's going to be interesting. You've got to balance all this around with what you're doing and when to strike. Because potentially when that Uber temple gets built, you need to use all your resources to build its defenses up. Because right at the beginning, if a siege passes your temples, it will kind of ignore them unless it walks right next to them. It will do an attack if it has the range. But your towers at the beginning are woeful. You'll have maybe 1 die, and you must get a 1 or a 2 on the die. It's 20% or 10% of chance of actually attacking them. And if you don't kill the enemy and the timer, the calendar timer disappears, they do leave the map, but they don't go in the box. They go back in the siege queue. So they will come back. That enemy will return, and when it does, it will be at full health. So it's you've got all these perils that are building up as you play. Not to mention, there is the big boss that's going to show up at some time, and that is going to be fearful when it does. But good to know, Volume 5 is a game where you're getting tons of gold and platinum, and you're going to have an epic chance to buy all the shop cards and loads of stuff. It's going to be fantastic. Not to mention, the shop has beautiful weapons that you can augment with these elements. That's right, you can plug a firestone into your sword to give you extra damage, which will do bonus damage against the element that it fights against. So water kills fire, fire kills air, air kills earth, and then there's the beautiful void magic, which is the uber magic, which is in the middle, that absolutely does double damage to everything. So if you get a void weapon with some void stones in it, you're gonna be kicking ass. It's gonna be epic, I'm telling you now. But there is going to be some stuff where you're going to need water to kind of amplify a healer. That might actually work. And water might go over healer because it will increase the damage also. So there's this kind of nice elemental play that's happening with the heroes in the deck. Now you are going to be rolling these dice, these element dice, to see if you get them, and generally speaking it looks absolutely tremendously good fun. Now when you uncover parts of the map and you see like a boss, there is this new feature. It's like a new rule where you don't know what that boss is. There is an element where you don't know what it is unless you get near to it. That's a rule that you can take. Like, you can reveal what it is, but I kind of find it interesting that you won't know what it is until you see it, because you do have this area of influence, what you can see. And if an enemy, or let's say the raid comes and he comes out of a portal that's in a part that you've not explored, that tile does come out. So you do see far away parts of the map get revealed when the siege comes, because you've got temples out there that might see it, so it kind of makes sense. So the map itself is going to open up much quicker than in any other volume. Anyway, super fascinating. I love everything that's going on. There's certainly much to love, and I am looking forward to getting into this world. Like I said, it's instant peril. There is a huge siege coming. You're responsible for all these towers. It certainly doesn't feel like tower defense. All it is you've got static temples that when you go to an Uber temple, you'll be rolling dice for that temple to attack. Simple as that. You can upgrade these towers by putting people inside, so they do lots of extra damage, and it's a really interesting feature. I mean, this is HEXplorit at the end of the day. Every feature they put in seems to have depth to it, doesn't it? You know that, don't you? Anyway, so that's my thoughts on the gameplay video. Let's jump down to the stretch goals, because, oh my goodness me, things have been boiling. All right. We'll start. We looked at most of these. The big one, of course, was the Clicks Madness Legends hardcover. So we got them printed. Very good. It's stretching at the minute to put them in a box, which is delicious, because you can put your HEXplorit Volume 1 box next to the Clicks Madness book, and then you'll be able to put the Legends book next to that. So it's going to be 3 boxes wide each volume. Yeah, something like that. Now, these extra cards, you can click on this. It gives you more interest on the stretch goals, of course. Epic power-ups. Of course, you've got to power up quickly in this game because peril is there from the first turn. More harvest cards. That's an important part. Jeffrey cards. Jeffrey is the big boss and the villain deck. Yeah. More element augment cards. These are going to be delicious. All right, so more cards, always good. Now, we can see kind of these minis that are getting used. These minis are going to represent your hero, and you can use them in any game if you want. So if you bring in a hero from Volume 5, you can use the group minion mini to represent that character if you want. Now, this incredible mat that you can use with all your volumes. If you're not in campaign mode, this is going to be delicious. I'm going to show this more when we go to the updates. I want to quickly go into the updates. I actually got my 2 playmats today, and I'm still waiting on my Clicks Madness book and the hero chest and the expansion boxes for Volume 1 and 2. Yes, and I'm going on holiday, so they are at the post office. I've got to pay shipping, but I just couldn't get to the bank today. It's been a terrible day for sorting things out. Anyway. Yeah, so here's the box that's been stretched out. All right. Now, the Legend books, I like the fact they're going to print off the ally cards for the Legends. That's going to be delicious, because otherwise I've got to turn to the book or print that page out from the book, so this is nice to have them anyway. These are going to be people you're talking to during the RPG. Legend books. More music for the game. This is going to be good. The app itself has a lot of music. Music's done by Foreteller, so it's absolutely fantastic. If you actually go to the HEXplorit YouTube page, a lot of their videos are using the official music, so you can kind of hear it on them, and it's generally really good. Now, this Core Box GM screen is going to be fantastic, because this GM screen you're getting for free, that's really good, because on the add-ons, if we go to the add-on, the campaign screens, look, they are $16 each. And they're really good. I mean, you will put these up just to put a border around the board, because they make the table presence look so much better. And it has rules on the back if you care about that. Now, the difference is they are completely different, are they? Because you've got different shops in Fall of the Ancients and different stuff. And it's mainly stuff related to campaign. So, this campaign one they're giving you in the stretch goals, if it's not going to have campaign stuff, is it? So, it's a little bit of an odd one. We'll see when it gets unlocked. We'll find out more, won't we? Anyway, updates. Let's go to these. We'll go to 5 first. And they always have this lower bit, which I pass by. That's the brilliant mythic Mist Weaver. Again, this is a mini that you can use for your character. You can also use this as a character if you split up. And this game might make you split up. Yeah, it's something that might happen. Yeah, so this is the video that I watched. Absolutely fantastic. Now, we've got this picture here. Is this a picture of the campaign screen? It looks like it, doesn't it? The big, wide-ass screen with all the bosses of Volume 5 on it. These are the poll results. So yes, transparent swirls. We might get this as an add-on to upgrade your dice. Boss layer box was voted for, and then it got voted against because it went towards something else. So we might get an extra box, which will be a component box. And there's a new vote for these. That's kind of interesting. The big meat and potatoes is update 4, though. Yeah, I mean, some people have been complaining about the lack of roles in this. There's quite a lot of roles. There's 2 strikers, 2 healers, 1 assist, 2 sappers, 2 utilities, sorry. I mean, that's more than Forest of Adramon. I don't know what the complaint is about, about that. And there are tons of races, of course. Now, we didn't see that on the stretch goal, did we? We'll go back to the stretch goals if I did overlook that. So, oh, it's not that one. I want to look at the. Is it number 3? I want to look at the play mats. Oh yeah, so they're talking about expansion content. This is going to be good because it's expanding the familiars. This is a little pet that you have that can really help. That came from volume 5, so that's something you're going to be able to introduce at all the volumes if you wish. Right, here we go, the Universal Playmat. You can see it in play here with Volume 5, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. Interesting, Volume 3 that expands outwards to the outside of the map. It is an absolute bigger map, Volume 3 for certain. But I really can't wait. I've actually upped my pledge to get Volume 3 after watching the video, and I thought I might as well pick up Volume 4 as well. Why the hell not? And just include it into one big pledge. Is what I did. So, yeah, let's jump back down to the stretch goals. Oh my goodness, jumping around here, aren't we? Why did I not see it here? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? I don't know. Does it show it right at the top what's coming next? GM screen. Where's the big 500 on the stretch goals? Just bear with me a second, peeps. Collector's box is the big 500. Alright. I must have been thinking about something else and it's gone straight above my head. Right. Well, there we go. Anyway, it's looking absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Gameplay looks solid. If you're coming for the Legend book, you're getting that. That's fine, isn't it? I mean, they're coming hardback. They're now coming in a box, which is fantastic. We're going to get those ally cards. I'm assuming this gets pushed. Ah, that's what I wanted to talk about. This bit. Now, when you pick your race, the race card sits next to the board, and it might have an ability on, so it's definitely worth sticking around. But this unlock is going to let them get some artists together to do all of the race cards because they want to put some art on it. So if you pick a human, you want a picture of a human with your race card, or if you pick a two-headed troll, you're going to have that. So that's going to be really cool to get. We don't know if that's going to come out on this campaign, though. It's really unlikely. And the other thing people have been shouting about is Volume 3. Where is it? The hiding in these bits. Yeah, Volume 3. The power-up cards at the minute are the only thing that's not got art on them. So they're asking if that's going to be a stretch goal. I don't think that's going to come until... I don't think those cards are going to come to Volume 3 until the campaign book comes to it. So just have to wait for that. I'm really interested to see what the campaign map will look like for this world, because it's going to be have all the names of the places on it and stuff. It's going to look a lot cooler, and we might get some landmarks in the middle of the desert and stuff on that. It's going to be awesome. Rightio. Oh yeah, I think that's the other thing. Volume 5, the shop that the merchant has is going to be the new shop for all the volumes. So you're going to have weapons that you can put elements in. And that's going to be great, because the way it's working is when you kill a boss or you do a mission, you're going to put a tile over it. Well, you normally do anyway, but this tile is going to have an element on it. So when you do a mission, you might be able to pick up an element from that spot as well. That's going to be cool. And if you've got that new merchant shop, that means you can buy these weapons that you can plug these into, or armor that you can plug them into to augment your character. So... yeah, the elements thingy is definitely coming to all the volumes. And that's going to be really good, because I'm not sure if does it talk about. It does tell you the contents, doesn't it, of this? Yeah, because it looks like in these expansion boxes, for the first time, we are not getting legendary items, are we? Not in Ishidan. Alright, let me have another look at this. Not in Ishidan. Caprican, do you have any legendary items? So yeah, it doesn't seem to have them. So if you want your legendary items, there doesn't seem to be one you can plug in these elements. So I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe the legendary ones in the past are just epic anyway. And you'll have to get the other expansion boxes to get your legendary cards in the decks. So that's something to think about. All right, it looks absolutely incredible though. I like the fact that it's 2 expansion boxes this time. I like that because it's got different gameplay. One of them is looking to be less of tower defense per se. I think one of them is. So you can play almost your normal HEXplorit, but in volume 5 in one of these areas. It's, you know, but I think what's good for me is it just looks so beautiful, these tiles. When you do, like, when you mix 2 volumes in, you're going to want to mix this water zone in between them, I feel like. So you've got kind of this passing through of an area to the next one, and then you can have a, you know, the just encounter cards in this area with a few bosses from this area. So I think this is a really interesting interval between the 2 volumes setup. So you're going to have volume, let's say 1. You'll have this that leads into, say, volume 2, or leads into the desert volume 3 if you put that in. It's going to be so good. I'll tell you though, when you've got all 5 volumes and it comes to that Christmas event, you can mix all 5 in. That is going to be, oh my god, that's going to be so good. And I know it's going to be a long time before we get volume 6, because next year, they've not confirmed if next year we're going to get the volume 3 campaign book. They've said that might be pushed into 2026, so it might be nothing next year. And in 2020, let's say 2026, the campaign book comes. That means volume... Let me think about this. Volume 6 crowdfunding might not be till 2027, and that might not ship until 2028 or 2029. So there's kind of a really long wait for that. I don't know how it's going to work out. Maybe they'll do 1 year where they'll do campaign mode. Next year they'll do the... Let me have a look. Legends. They might do a Legends thing. Or they might just throw it on here like we've seen. So yeah. And they have confirmed that there's only 3 that are planned for each volume. So the 3 that you're getting in this 3 set, that's the full set for volume 1. So if you get the hardcover bundle here and you've got the campaign Clicks Madness, you've got all the content now for volume 1, pending you've got expansion and stuff like that. But yeah, I've got everything here, but Clicks Madness is still not delivered. It's in the post office. Really annoying. It's what I want to play first, is Clicks Madness. It's in a box with the expansion boxes, and the hero chest is also in the box. So yeah. I can tell you though that the playmats are incredible. They're so vibrant. The art on them is beautiful, and totally treat yourself if you're going for the campaign book. They are so worth the money that you get with them. All right, peeps. If you've got any questions, I won't be able to answer them. I'm on holiday, don't you know? And when I come back, this campaign will have finished. So there might be more surprises here. So definitely worth you come visiting here when you watch this video to see where things ended up. I'm going to be over the moon, though, wherever it gets to. If you got this far in the video, though, if you look at my special programs, I've just been looking at some... I've looked at the Gen Con preview list and picked out some interesting games there. And I've also done a game that you can play with me, where we go to the late pledge on Gamefound, and you've got a budget of $1,000, and tell me which games you would get if you can only pledge the whale pledges, with the caveat you can't back a game you've already backed or you've $1 pledged for. So you've got to pick whale pledges from it. In the video, I managed to find 4 inside the budget. So I wonder what games you will pick. So check my special programs out. I'll put a link at the end of this video for the game, and you can try that out. That's the stuff I've been publishing while I'm on holiday. So I hope you enjoy the content while I've been away, and I will be back. I want to say next week. When's this video come out? If this video comes out on the Monday, I'll be back on the following Monday. There we go. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the content. Final thoughts then. HEXplorit Volume 5. Hell yeah. Everything's looking fantastic. The Legend hardcover books in a box. Yes, please. Volume 5. Everything. Yes, please. The new playmat. Yes, please. So everything that's been gunning here has put my pledge up big time, and just fallen in love with the project. Fallen in love with Volume 3. I've put that on my pledge. And Volume 4, I've been trying to ignore Volume 4 because I know I'm going to love it. It's Vampire, isn't it? I can't wait to play that one also. So good. And it's becoming more important, Volume 5 as well, because of the familiars. And it has blood magic, and blood magic and familiars are in Volume 5, so it kind of, you can mix and match 4 and 5 quite easily. Yes, and of course the upgraded shop from 5 across all the volumes, lovely jubbly, and all the elements coming across all the volumes, lovely jubbly. It just looks so good, peeps. It just goes to show you how incredible the HEXplorit team is. They're thinking outside of the box to really jazz up their game to the high end, and everything they're doing looks fantastic. There is also going to be something else I'm adding, isn't there? The chest. They're planning on bringing another chest out. This one's going to hold all the components, like all the dice for all the games, and all the miniatures for all the games. And potentially all the encounter cards and stuff. We don't actually know what's coming in that. But there is going to be another box to kind of help set up the game. Bloody hell. There's just more coming, and the pledge keeps getting bigger. I look forward to the day when the Volume 3 campaign comes out, and all I need to order is the book, playmat, and the Legend series, and I'm all good to go. Oh crap, there's going to be the illustrated power-up deck for it, isn't there? Yes, okay, so that'll creep up as well. And then they said the plan for the campaigns was only Volume 1 to 3, ? They unsure about Volume 4, but to be honest, it's coming, isn't it? You know it's coming. They can just do a crowdfunding campaign to see if there's any interest for Volume 4. And of course there is. Are you kidding me? Keep it coming, peeps. We want all these campaigns and Legend projects following the volumes, because it just adds so much extra content that is so refreshingly different than the core game. and enhances the stories and lore of the core game just to make it even bigger. And not to mention, the campaign books add more encounters and bosses to the mix. The adventure toolkit, DIY adventure kit, does add a lot more. So yeah, it's all fantastic. Peeps, I'm in love with HEXplorit, especially number 5. It looks incredible on the table, and holy shit, is the shit hit the fan from round 1. It's like you're in peril immediately when you start. It has that feeling of dread in this beautifully coloured world. Wow, can't wait to play it. If you think, oh, I'm discounting it because I don't like tower defense, it's not really tower defense. Not really. When you check it out, it's still HEXplorit at its core, you running around and stuff. It's just that these towers do help when these big sieges come that otherwise would kick your ass asunder. Yeah, and of course when that big boss arrives, ooh, yeah, it's going to be so exciting. Volume 5. So in that bombshell, thank you so much for watching. You obviously know how much I love the series, and I'm all in on this 5. It looks incredible. Just imagine setting this up with your friends and having the peril all round the table with the app playing the music. And the surprise when the first raid comes out and you all feel so weak that you're running away from it. It's gonna be so good. It really is. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the 2 mission decks at the side of the board, these are open. You can choose which one you want to do. It's interesting. There's so much extra going on here. I do feel like it is a little bit heavier than the others. And that's saying something considering level 3 is supposed to be the heaviest. But I do think that there is a little bit more going on this 5, but it seems to be more palatable because it's all thematic goodness. So yeah, love to know your thoughts down below. I won't be able to read them until I come back from holiday though. But I'll be on vacation in Mazatlan, west coast of Mexico. And it's always fantastic. It's 37 degrees here, and I think it's 32 in Mazatlan, so it's going to be a little bit cooler because 37 is fireball, too hot, and it's going to get hotter here. So a good time to go on holiday before it hits 40 degrees. So on that bombshell, thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a like and think about subscribing if you like the content. Remember, I am a faceless YouTube presenter. That's right. And that's the way I like it, because I love doing radio, don't you know? So yeah, this has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.